Over the last few years, I've read tons of books on finance and investing. From the basic books like Rich Dad Poor Dad to the books that teach you how to invest to the books that teach you how to save. And also the ones that involve the psychological aspect of it. And some of them really shocked me because they were really contradicting. So I am here today with another video to share 5 top books that I liked with you guys and top lessons that I took from each one of them. Let's start with the basics and one of my favorite books, that is I'll Teach You to Be Rich. The book contradictorily talks about how you should use your money to live a life full of freedom rather than luxury. It does not talk about how you should live on basic means and put all your money into the savings. Rather, it talks about how you should spend your money on things that you like, that is finding your money dial. For example, it tells that how for most of the people money dial is either food or traveling. The book talks about an example which I really liked, which was how one of the author's friends got raise in his salary, and instead of shifting to a bigger apartment, he decided to shift to a smaller apartment. Shocked when the author asked him why he did so, he told him that he wants to put all of his money into traveling. And that is when the author realized that his money dial was traveling, and that was the smarter move. That is primarily what the book talks about, on how you should live a life that is good for you and not that people think you should live. That is why you should always spend your money on things that you like rather than proving something to society or living a life full of luxury that does not mean much to you. The next point that the book majorly talks about is how you should focus on earning more. Now, to some people, it might seem stupid because who would not earn more if they could, right? The point is how you get to earn more. First is you should not be afraid to ask. You should not be afraid to ask. If you're putting in more work, if you're sitting for extra hours in office, do not hesitate to go up to your boss and ask for a raise. No one ever got fired for asking a higher salary or looking for higher paying jobs. You might currently be satisfied with your package or how much you're earning, but never be satisfied. That is obviously one of the things which will help you grow your money. Also talks about how no one really enjoys working a 9 to 5 or going to office daily. Most of us enjoy either traveling or Netflix or things like that. That is why your goal in life should be to retire early, have financial independence, and then do whatever you like to do. If you're unable to find a higher paying job or get a negotiation in your own salary, you should find some side hustle. For example, you have an off on Saturdays or Sundays, then you can teach high school kids, or you can buy a property and rent it out. So any source of side passive income can help grow your portfolio a lot. Next is simple long-term investments, not to get trapped in complicated high market schemes which you don't know about, because that can make you lose all your money and are very high risk investments if you don't have proper knowledge. So you can start with simple long term SIP, which is investing every month into stocks that you believe are growing or you are pretty sure of will grow in the future. Then the book talks about how your aim in life should be about big wins. For example, you should not save enough to be free about tonight's dinner or party out with friends. Your aim should be that these small things do not matter. So always aim for big wins. Invest thinking of big wins, for example, of buying a property or buying a car instead of such small things. Now coming to the next book. Next book is Wanting, The Power of Mimetic Desire. This book is very similar to the first one and talks more about how what we want or what we spend our money on is not usually something that we want but is more reflected by other people. Now it majorly talks about mimetic desire, which can be of two types. One is internal and external. External could be, for example, I don't need a very fancy wardrobe, but one of my favorite celebrities or influencers can influence me into buying one, and that does not really make me happy, maybe for a day or two, but not in the long run. That is external mimetic desire. And internal could be my friends or society wants me to shift to a bigger apartment, and so I do so, but I actually want to spend on traveling. That is inner mimetic desire, doing something which society or friends or your family or influencer make you pressured to make you feel pressured to do so. It is not something that you actually wanted to do. The book also tells how it is human tendency to copy others, and it's okay, but you should just be self-aware enough to know where you are spending your extra money and where you can cut down and save. Because Spending on things that don't make you happy is just unnecessary. Now coming to the third one, and one of the very common ones, the psychology of money. Some famous people's examples, for example, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, and it also shows that you should look at patterns and not people on how they got rich. And the rarer the pattern, it just proves that it was more about luck and not the pattern, because otherwise everyone would just follow it and become rich. But definitely luck plays a very important role. For example, the book talks about Warren Buffett. 90% of his money came from 10% of his stocks. Is your money or your life? It is very much on the psychological or technical aspect of it. It talks about how every cent or every money that you earn is an exchange of some of your life moments. For example, if I go to work from 9 to 5, that are the life moments that I'm exchanging in terms of money. So for every dollar or every cent that I spend, I should question myself that is it worth the life energy that I spent on it? Is it worth the 9 to 5 that I go every day? And therefore you should be conscious about spending your money. Spending on unnecessary things or things that I do not want is me wasting my life energy. That is why this book also talks about how you should be a conscious spender, save more, and you should make your money work for you. You should not work for money. We earn money to live a simple life, and we do not live to earn money. We earn money to live a simple life. And that is what the book basically talks about, and how you should make your money work for you. The next and the last book is The Millionaire Next Door. It talks about how most of the millionaires are not flashy spenders. For example, if you're walking on a street and you see someone wearing a 50,000 shoe pair, they are most probably not a millionaire themselves. Maybe they have rich parents who bought it for them, but they themselves did not earn that money. The book shows how millionaires who earn know the value of money, and they do not spend on things that are unnecessarily expensive. And parents who give their adult children financial help often end up making them less self-sufficient. The book talks about how it does not necessarily mean that if you have a high income, you will be wealthy in future. For example, if a person A has 50,000 salary and he ends up saving 20,000 from it, contrary to a person who earns 2 lakhs per month but ends up saving only 10,000. That shows the clear difference in the mindsets and how much they value their money. So the book talks about your income does not define the wealth you will have in 5 to 10 years. It talks about simple investment techniques. For example, discipline, budgeting, long-term planning. All these key traits are very important when you are looking to be wealthy or to retire early. For example, investing. Investing could be simple. You can start with a long-term SIP. Or instead of spending all your cash flow in 1 month that you earn, you can invest half of it or 30% of it, however much your pocket allows, and that will definitely help you achieve retirement early. The book is very brutal and talks about how we often look at millionaires and blame their wealth on either their luck, on their raising, or some of the opportunities that they had that we do not have. But the book shows that how anyone can be rich if they want to be. How you just need to have enough obsession with money and the cash flow will come in. That was all for today. These are some of the books that I really liked on finance, and if you want, you can list the books that you like on finance in the comments down below, and I'll definitely look at them. Thank you for watching my video, and if you liked it, give me a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.